Carlos, bienvenidos.
Muchas gracias.
Very nice to have you here at the Transformations Conference 2023 in Prague. We are very curious on your expectations of the last couple of days, what you experienced, what was very touching to you, what resonated with you, and which encounters you made that you would like to share with the audience that couldn't be here.
Well, I enjoyed, I'm enjoying still now very much these experience. I would say first because Prague is a fantastic place. I believe in the importance of places and how we relate to them. And Prague is a city of resonance, in the center of Europe, but we are also at the center of so many different cultures, with so many layers of history, which have made Prague what it is today. So it's also my favorite city. So when I saw that the Transformations 2023 would take place here, I said, okay, that's already a good reason to come. But of course, the main reason is to engage with people in conversations. It's not so much about the sessions themselves or the presentations themselves, but about the conversations that we had and that we are having, and meeting incredible people, many of them whom I knew, so it's a very good place also to catch up in person, not on Zoom, in person with people that you already know, but also to meet new people like you that we hadn't met before. And I'm particularly intrigued by some people who are working at the crossroads of different ways of doing, different ways of thinking, the crossroads between artistic practices and social transformations, so bringing these different lenses together, because I think that's what we have to explore more and more, not to stay in each one's discipline, each one's silo, but looking beyond and having other views, other perspectives, and connect with people in a very practical way, a very human way.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that this space actually allowed that experience for you to emerge. Wonderful. And we are now at day 3. It's almost the end of the conference, and today the heading question is what is missing for systems change? So would you like to share a little bit what you're thinking about that question, about that heading? What comes to you?
The question is big, of course. Yeah. I mean, but it's a very good question, I think, as well. Because it obliges us to get out of our own usual framework. We are all engaged in routine, doing every day more or less the same thing, and then from time to time we need to take a step back and say, hey, what is missing, particularly from the perspective of what is missing for system change, which is a holistic transformation of society, of culture, etc. And I would highlight maybe 2 particular aspects, which of course are related. One is the making available, accessible to everybody the notion that our health and well-being is not built on material prosperity. At the very least, above a certain threshold of material comfort, we know that more stuff will not give us better health and well-being. So it's not the driver. The driver of well-being is not GDP per capita. It's the quality. And what is interesting with that is that this is something that we know since the beginning of times, because all originary cultures have that embedded, and that now we are having to rediscover in modern times and through modern science as well, that our health and well-being are built on the relationships. They are fundamentally relational. We live in a culture which emphasizes so much the individual, and the individual as the building block of everything. We are not individuals, I mean, we are, at the very least, not only, we are individuals. So being an individual is a manifestation of our aliveness, but that aliveness disappears if we are not in relation with others. So, and actually it's a fact. I mean, people, I would say, die of isolation. They die of sicknesses, etc. But overall, they die of isolation. You know, we die of that, and we have to learn in our modern society to put again the focus on the priority, becoming human again, putting the focus on its relationships with other humans, but also with life, with nature, and with time, I would say, with the people who were here before, our heritage, and the people who will be here after us, you know. So that's what I think. Actually everybody knows this. Everybody, yes, in the heart, knows exactly this. It's because we are human. We're humans. So, but we tend to replace that by a lot of artificial things that make us think that no, what is important to me is me, mine, and I. You know, the individual isolated from. That's death. Sorry to say. And another thing that I would highlight is that we need to push for more strongly is the idea that, which is sort of the same but looked at it from different perspective, that everybody, and in that everybody I include everybody, which means not only humans, all living beings, and I would say even non-living beings, have autonomy, radical autonomy, the capacity to sense and evolve and in a way take decisions. And at the same time, everybody is interdependent. That's the nature of things, you know, and it's not so easy to express that from the languages that we typically use in modern times, because, you know, oh, but how could everybody be autonomous and interdependent at the same time? Well, it only looks like a contradiction if you're obsessed with, again, individualism, and isolation. But it's not a contradiction, it's the nature of life. And that also means that we cannot, in whatever we do, whatever we try in order to improve a bit the world we have around us, not to talk about avoiding, you know, the conditions for suicide that we have built, you know, through climate change, but social fractures, geopolitical fractures. We have to think about that, about the fact that it's not through control that we will achieve a better world, by taking control of things, of people, etc. It's by betting on the humanity of everybody, of every human, but betting also on the autonomy of all of the rest. I mean, climate change is the manifestation of the autonomy of the atmosphere, of the biosphere, if you wish. You know, I mean, the atmosphere is changing in response, so one could say, well, this is in response to what we have, all the dirty things that we are giving to the atmosphere. The atmosphere is actually creating the conditions to get rid of us. We could say that, you know. So, we didn't take care of we assume that, you know, the atmosphere, that's so big that it will accept every dirty thing that we emit. Well, no, not really. They have their own being, and their own being is saying to us, hey guys, please stop, you know, because if you don't, it's not me, it's not the atmosphere who will disappear, it's you. So I summarize that in saying beware of dispossession, when we assume that people, living beings, etc., have no autonomy, that we can decide for them, that we can control them, we are making a big mistake. And actually we practice that all the time, and we have to look at that, to look at things from this lens as well.
Makes me very humble.
Well, yeah, humility, I mean, humility is actually fundamental. thing. This is not exactly what we are practicing, you know, what we have been practicing in the last centuries, but especially not now, even when some of our what we consider as the most advanced manifestations of human innovation, like so-called AI, you know, there is a lot of arrogance in that, and a lot of ignorance of who we are, and that we are, well, relevant for sure, but only a tiny piece in the whole of life with a capital L, you know.
Thank you so much for your perspective and sharing your wisdom with us.
You're welcome, pleasure.